Hi, good evening. Hello. How are you all? Sorry for bad video quality. Quality adjust అవ్వాలి తప్పదు. So, did anyone write today's exam? Did anyone write today's exam? Voice is not clear. Please refresh once. See, overall exam was in three different phases or three different stages, right? There were three papers that were held today, and the paper level was almost like this. Paper level was almost like this. This is 10th standard. This was 12th standard or UG. This is your graduate standard. So we can expect that CGL paper will be at that stage. Yes, I also agree that so what is happening with equity. I really don't know why. No, you should not ask what is happening with equity. You should ask why is it happening with equity. Right. See, the fact is that the paper was hard. First, let us talk about what are our takeaways for the graduation phase exam. Right. All of us are gonna write CGL. So let us talk about CGL and the implications of CGL. Based on what happened today, especially with respect to the papers, the takeaway that you can have is that English for your exam will be easy. It will be good. It will be easy. You can handle it. You can definitely handle it. Whereas with respect to reasoning, the overall conclusion is that reasoning paper is lengthy. Reasoning paper is taking a lot of time. Reasoning paper is lengthy. There are longer statements and they are asking you statement assumption based questions. So this is a situation with respect to reasoning. With respect to quant, the change that was seen is that they asked more of advanced math questions. We can expect the same thing even in tier 2 also, or tier 1 also, for the upcoming CGL tier 1. With respect to maths, you can expect that more number of questions will be asked from advanced math. There were good number of questions on geometry, trigonometry, heights and distances, coordinate geometry. Then there are also questions on stats, permutations and combinations. You can expect the same kind of pattern in the upcoming CGL paper, right? So this is the change that we can expect with respect to maths. So the gradation level paper is tough. The paper is good enough. Ideally, ilage undali paper, because if there is someone who is working hard, the paper is not supposed to be easy. Please understand, if the paper is very, very easy, it becomes a matter of luck. Whereas if the papers are hard and you are working hard, definitely your hard work will bear a fruit. So this is the analysis with respect to maths. See, CGL, that even I was thinking of the same thing. So if this is a phase 13 paper today, you can expect somewhere closer tier 1 of CGL, and somewhere over here is a tier 2 of CGL mains. So you can expect this kind of scenario. So maybe somewhere between your afternoon shift and the evening shift, you can definitely expect something like that. But one thing that is clearly understood is that they are sticking to the syllabus. They are clearly sticking to the syllabus. It seems like the paper is prepared by artificial intelligence, because the literal meaning of logical reasoning was seen in the question papers. So you can expect that no, the question paper will be based on the syllabus, and tier 1 would be more or less at phase 13 paper only, or maybe one small notch down, and your tier 2 will be a notch up and above the phase 13 paper. So this is the conclusion that we can think of with respect to maths. When it comes to GS, out of the questions that were there in the paper, around 9 questions were multi-statement questions. Since the day I've analyzed the JSA papers, I have been yelling at the top of my voice, stating that if you practice multi-statement questions, you will do good in the examinations. Multi-statement questions will be the new norm. I have been yelling about this at the top of my voice since the day I saw JSA paper, because JSA paper there are so many questions which are multi-statement questions, right? So GS, you can definitely expect that the paper is going to be conceptual. Unless you have good linkages within the paper, within the subject, you cannot handle these questions. You can definitely no find it difficult to handle GS question papers in the upcoming examinations, provided you don't have the conceptual understanding. So this is a prima facie analysis, and from today my plan is to take up live sessions and discuss the most important topics that can be asked in SSC exams. The point is that we are not supposed to talk about any questions. We are not supposed to tell these questions are asked in the examination, these are not asked in the examinations. This is forbidden from the commission. So we cannot do that with respect to the papers that are going on. But the point is, my plan is to take up some areas where I feel like these are important and take up sessions on a regular basis as long as exams are going on. So this is the plan. I'll take up a couple of questions, or I'll talk to you guys for the next 2 minutes before I go to the GS section that we are going to discuss. So do you have any questions, or do you want to talk about anything in particular? You can talk. I'm looking at the comment section. After phase 13, Steno is the next exam. See, English law, you can expect that the same kind of paper. Okay, English, you can expect the same kind of paper. GS might be easier. English easy ga ochindi. English was easy. Anni shifts lono English paper was easy. Hi, Somshekar, hi. Long time. See, reasoning, I did not see the questions yet. I don't know about the questions. You know, Chiptanam. Okay. Okay. What I mean, I want your statement to be elaborated, Sanju. Just a moment. MTS ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది. మోస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లీ MTS ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది. CGL ఈ లెవెల్లో ఉంటుంది. We can talk about GS weightage once we get the key. Without key, I cannot talk about the weightage at this moment. Okay. So phase 13 లో మెయిన్స్ లేదు కాబట్టి రీజనింగ్ లో అఫీషియల్ GS స్టేట్మెంట్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కౌంట్లో వచ్చాయి. CGL ప్రీ లెవెల్లో అవి రావు కదా. No, don't go by the assumption. Okay, be prepared for the worst. Expect the worst. If there are no statement based questions, then it is okay. But I am sure there will be statement based questions. Okay. So no, English definitely easy gaane untundi. Ma'am, PYQ relevance. I will comment on PYQ relevance after 2 days. I need 2 more days to understand the relevance of PYQs. This is too early to talk about it. Today, the overall graduation level based on various people, the level is tough. Questions are of very good standard. Yeah, the relevance of PYQs, I will comment on the relevance of PYQs after 2 to 3 days. I want 2 to 3 days to comment about it. See, again, with respect to current affairs, in the morning and the afternoon shift, there were questions till 2023 also. Whereas in the evening shift, there was one question on 2025. There was other questions on 2023. So this is again too early to talk about it. Too easy. దేని గురించి అంటున్నారు? ఆపరేషన్ SSC దేని గురించి too easy అంటున్నారు? Here, I mean, I don't have any comment on the cutoff here. Yes, there were analogy type questions. Okay, there were analogy type questions. Phase 13 is not easy. If somebody said that phase 13 is too easy, please give a slap on the face. Phase 13, 10th standard paper was easy. 12th standard was okay. Grad standard paper was of very good level. Okay, no, it is not the same questions for bank exams, but 1 or 2 questions in reasoning matched the banking standard is one comment made by one student. Okay, I spoke to few students and one of them said that you can expect the banking paper in reasoning, but again, I cannot comment on it because I did not see the questions. In the morning paper, see, phase 13, there were 3 papers. Grad, UG, 10th and UG people attempted 90 plus questions, yes. But in grad, people did not do that. Grad paper, yes, paper was more or less like CSAT is the comment, even I heard of it. Okay, so 90 plus చేసింది పొద్దున 10th క్లాస్ పేపర్లో 12th క్లాస్ పేపర్లో గ్రాడ్ పేపర్లో చేయలేదు. గ్రాడ్ పేపర్ గట్టిగానే వచ్చింది. CGL టైర్ 1 కూడా గట్టిగానే వస్తుందని అనుకోండి. ఓకే, గట్టిగా వస్తుందని అనుకోండి. గట్టిగా వచ్చేదానికి ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి. నిజంగా ఈజీగా కొంచెం వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, యూఆర్ లక్కీ, యూఆర్ హ్యాపీ. బట్ ప్లీజ్ అండర్స్టాండ్, పేపర్లు ఈజీగా రావాలని అనుకోవద్దు. ఈజీగా వస్తే ఇట్ జస్ట్ బికమ్స్ ఎ మ్యాటర్ ఆఫ్ లక్. వంశీ, ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది. GS ఇప్పుడే ఏం మాట్లాడలేం. మేబీ మధ్యాహ్నం పేపర్ లాగా ఉండొచ్చు. Okay, with respect to maths, you are expected to prepare with on advanced maths మంచిగా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి. మ్యాథ్స్ విషయంలో మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసేప్పుడు అడ్వాన్స్ మ్యాథ్స్ ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి. ఎస్పెషల్లీ ట్రయాంగిల్స్, సర్కిల్స్, సర్కిల్స్‌లో టీసీటీ, డీసీటీ లాంటివి. నెక్స్ట్ పీఏ ఇంటూ పీబీ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు పీసీ ఇంటూ పీడీ ఇట్లాంటి అప్లికేషన్స్. నెక్స్ట్ పీఏ ఇంటూ పీబీ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు పీటీ స్క్వేర్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ క్వెషన్స్. వీటి పైన ఇవి చూసుకోండి. ట్రయాంగిల్స్ ప్రాపర్‌గా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి. దెన్ ప్లీజ్ టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ మెన్సురేషన్. మెన్సురేషన్ కొంచెం మంచిగా చూసుకోండి. అండ్ కోఆర్డినేట్ జామెట్రీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు సీ ప్రాపర్‌లీ. అండ్ మై సజెషన్ ఈస్ దట్ ఛాన్స్ తీసుకోవద్దు. అట్లీస్ట్ కొంచెమైనా చూసుకోండి ప్రాబబిలిటీ అండ్ స్టాటిస్టిక్స్. ఐ నో దట్ టైర్ 1 సిలబస్‌లో లేవని. బట్ ఛాన్స్ తీసుకోకండి. ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి వెళ్ళండి. Vendor will not change your इतना आसान नहीं है. I mean, it's not so easy to change things in the government. Government doesn't work in that manner. Yes, there were parajumbles. Parajumbles were easy. See, there were mouse problems. There were a lot of mouse problems were there. There were a lot of problems with respect to hardware. There are problems with respect to the exam centers, infrastructure. There are so many problems. There are n number of problems. But please understand, these problems will stay. Prepare yourselves mentally for these problems. Okay, get ready for those kind of things. Your statement based questions you can practice from CDS papers. Now if I say that you have UPSC CSE prelims papers, old papers and CDS papers, people will start probably suffocating on my throat. Na peak and start చేస్తారు కావచ్చు ఈయన SSC పేపర్లో UPSC అనే మాట తీసుకొస్తున్నాడు అని. బట్ మల్టీ స్టేట్మెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ మీకు అక్కడ దొరుకుతాయి. We are only preparing factual questions in GS. How to deal? See, స్టేట్మెంట్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అంటే సత్య ఫ్యాక్ట్సే మల్టిపుల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్లో ఉంటాయి. కొంచెం కాన్సెప్చువల్గా లోపలికి వెళ్ళి చదవాలి. 1 లైనర్స్ 1 షాట్ వర్క్ అవ్వదు. బట్ ప్లీజ్ అండర్స్టాండ్, సిడిఎస్ పేపర్స్, సిఎస్సి పేపర్స్ ఆర్ వెరీ గుడ్ సోర్స్ ఫర్ యూ టు గెట్ అ టేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ ఆర్ మల్టీ స్టేట్మెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్. ఎలా మల్టీ స్టేట్మెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ దొరుకుతాయి, ఎక్కడ దొరుకుతాయి అని తెలియాలి అంటే సిఎస్సిలో 2014 నుంచి 2016, 17 ఈ కాలం నాటి పేపర్స్ కానీ, లేటెస్ట్ సిడిఎస్ కానీ ఈ పేపర్స్ చూస్తే మీకు మల్టీ స్టేట్మెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయో అర్థమైపోతుంది. నో ఐడియా హరి, వీ హ్యావ్ టు వెయిట్ ఫర్ అ కపుల్ ఆఫ్ డేస్. నేను ఇప్పుడు వెయిటేజ్ గురించి ఎలానూ మాట్లాడను, బికాజ్ ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు కమెంట్ ఆన్ ఎనీథింగ్ వితౌట్ సీయింగ్ ద పేపర్. యా, కాన్సెప్ట్ డెఫినెట్లీ కాన్సెప్ట్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తున్నాయి అన్నారు. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ అగైన్ టూ ఎర్లీ ఇఫ్ ఐ మేక్ ఎనీ స్టేట్మెంట్స్. నాట్ రైట్ నౌ వేర్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ గోనా టచ్ మ్యాథమెటిక్స్ అట్ ఆల్. ఇప్పట్లో కాదు అసలు. ఓకే, దట్స్ గుడ్. దట్స్ వన్ గుడ్ సోర్స్. ఆఫీసర్స్ టెలిగ్రామ్ గ్రూప్, దట్స్ వన్ గుడ్ సోర్స్ యూ కెన్ సీ. Okay, now the point is that I've prepared a PDF for day 1 of the important topics. I will take up the conceptual topics that are there and I want you to revise the factual topics. Okay. My target is to take up important topics and the focus areas. These are the expected areas from which you can be asked questions. Okay, please understand, these are not the questions that were asked in the examination. Ekkada kuda on Siddhi platform I am not telling that these are the questions asked. ఇవి అడిగారు అని చెప్పట్లేదు. వీటికి క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్లో అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్స్కి అడుగుతున్న క్వశ్చన్స్కి ఎట్లాంటి సంబంధం లేదు. ఓకే, దీస్ ఆర్ ది ఫోకస్ ఏరియాస్. ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్స్ మాత్రమే నేను డిస్కస్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాను. ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్స్లో ఇవాళ నేను కొన్ని టాపిక్స్ పికప్ చేసుకుని నోట్స్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేశాను. ఈ నోట్స్ యూ కెన్ గో త్రూ ద నోట్స్. దీనిలో కాన్సెప్చువల్ టాపిక్స్ నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. 2 ఫ్యాక్చువల్ ఉన్నవి ఇవి చదవండి అని చెప్పి ఐ విల్ ప్రొసీడ్ అహెడ్, రైట్? So I am not looking at the comment section anymore for the next 20 to 25 minutes till I talk. Once అది అయిపోయిన తర్వాత నేను మాట్లాడతాను. Okay, now let us look at the important topics. One topic of importance is that the article numbers, especially right to equality based article numbers, article 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. These numbers are important. Please be cautious about it. Along with that, can somebody tell me there are 2 concepts for equality of law? Can someone tell me what are the 2 different concepts of equality of law? ఈక్వాలిటీ బిఫోర్ లో ఆర్టికల్ 14 కింద 2 కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఆ 2 ఏంటో చెప్పగలరా? ఈక్వాలిటీ బిఫోర్ లో, వెరీ గుడ్. అండ్ ది అదర్ వన్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ లాస్. ఈక్వాలిటీ బిఫోర్ లా అండ్ ఈక్వల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ లాస్. సో కెన్ ఎనీవన్ టెల్ మీ వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ equality before law and equal protection of laws? Or you tell me what is equivalent of due process of law? Which of these is the same as due process of law? Equal protection of laws is due process of law, which has been taken from US Constitution, right? And amongst equality before law and equal protection of law, yes, that was the next question that I wanted to ask. Which is positive in nature and which is negative in nature? Which is positive in nature? Equality before law and equal protection of laws, which is positive in nature, which is negative in nature, right? Good, nice. So these article numbers are important. If you are not good at the article numbers, please revise these. Again, article 19, you have 6 of them. First, okadagara, you should be able to talk and express. Then it is assembly. Then it is about formation of associations and unions. Then it is right to movement. You should be able to move from one place to other place. Then you reside and stop. Finally, you are practicing any profession. This is important. So can anyone tell me what is article 19F that has been removed? What is article 19F that has been removed? Right to property. Where is 19F in the current day's constitution? Where is 19F in the current day's constitution? Good, 300A. Now, can anyone tell me give me an example for legal rights? Give me example for legal rights. Please give me example for legal rights. Right to property. Right to property. Yes, 44th amendment. Nice, very good, Satya. Right to property. Next, what about right to vote? Is right to vote a constitutional right? Is right to vote a constitutional right? Right to vote is not a constitutional right. Nice. So 20 is protection of life and personal liberty. Can someone tell me right to privacy was granted through a particular judgment? Which judgment is it? Right to privacy was granted through a particular judgment. Which judgment is it? The judgment is Puttaswamy versus Union of India case. It's a very famous case. There are highly likely chances they can ask about this in the examination. Okay. Yes, Puttaswamy judgment. Yes, not Gopalan case. AK Gopalan case law. There was a very narrow view. Okay, now that people asked about AK Gopal and Menaka Gandhi case, I'll take 1 minute and I'll talk about 2 different cases. One case is AK Gopalan case and the other case is Menaka Gandhi case. These 2 cases are very important with respect to constitutional history of India. In AK Gopalan case, the constitution was interpreted in a very, very narrow manner. As in, the meaning of right to life was interpreted as the value for the physical form of life. Whereas by Menaka Gandhi case, the meaning of right to life was expanded a lot, and all the forms of life that are needed is included under right to life. So right to life has been expanded under Menaka Gandhi case, but right to privacy came under Puttaswamy judgment. So these 3 different cases. Please don't get confused between these 3 cases. I hope I am clear about it. Right, again, please don't expect that these are the predicted question papers for tomorrow's exam. No, it is not like that. Okay, I am picking up the important topics and discussing those things. Now 23-24 article numbers, please do remember all the article numbers. There is one more thing that we have to discuss. Article 32. Please tell me what are the type of writs that you have. The maths question can be posted later. I don't want to get myself distracted. Yes, there were questions. Yes, there were questions of permutations and combinations. Mandamus. Yes. Alongside, please tell me what is the meaning of the writ. There are 5 types of writs. Yes. Please tell me their meaning also. One, yes, one as you said is mandamus. Second, habeas corpus. Third, certiorari. Yes. Fourth is prohibition. Fifth is quo warranto. So now, which of the writs asks you to bring and present your body? Which of those writs asks you to bring and present the body? Yes, habeas corpus, very good. Which Which writ is useful to transfer a case from a lower court to the higher court? Which writ is used to transfer a case from a lower court to the higher court? Yes. Yes. Which of the writs can be issued against the private bodies? Which of the writs do you think can be issued against the private bodies? Habeas corpus, yes. Habeas corpus can be issued against private bodies, yes. Certiorari cannot be issued against private bodies. No. See, certiorari, quo warranto, right? Then these writs cannot be issued against private bodies. Habeas corpus can be issued against private bodies. Now, which court has a wider jurisdiction with respect to the writs? Is it Supreme Court or the High Court? Is it the Supreme Court or the High Court? Which court has a wider jurisdiction with respect to writs? Yes, yes, you're right. High Court, yes. Under which article number here? Under which article number? 226, right? So I'll one of you guys asked to explain the writs, and this is an important topic as well. So I'll discuss in brief about writs. Okay, just for less than 1 minute, I'll talk about writs. Basically, writ is an order. Writ is an order issued by a court to get a function to be executed. If the court wants to do something, they issue a writ, right? So if you want something from the court, you can apply. The petition is called as a writ petition. The court will decide whether some action has to be taken or not. If an action has to be taken, the court can issue a writ. Now, there are two types of courts that can issue a writ. One court is a Supreme Court, the other court is a High Court. High Court can issue writs with respect to all matters, whereas Supreme Court can issue a writ only when your fundamental rights are violated. So, Supreme Court can issue a writ under 32, whereas High Court issues under 226. Now, with respect to jurisdiction, there are two different words. First word is original jurisdiction. See, based on the constitution, you can go to a Supreme Court or a High Court when your rights are violated. So, with respect to Supreme Court, it is a original jurisdiction, but it is a narrow jurisdiction because Supreme Court can issue writs only with respect to fundamental rights, whereas High Court has a very wider jurisdiction. High Court can issue a writ with respect to any matter. Now, with respect to types of writs, writs are of five types. First writ is known as habeas corpus. Habeas corpus, corpse in the sense meaning is corpse meaning is body. So the meaning of habeas corpus is that if this writ is issued, the government or the private body, whoever it is, against whom the writ has been issued, they have to come and present the body. That is known as habeas corpus. Second writ is known as quo warranto. The meaning of this is quo is with, quo warranto. The meaning of this is with what authority. The court is questioning someone that with what authority are you occupying a public office. For example, only when you cross the age of 25, you can become the member of Lok Sabha. If you did not cross 25 and you are still 22 and you have participated in the election, then the court can question you by what authority are you sitting in this house. So that is your quo warranto. Third is the mandamus. The writ of mandamus is issued to mandate a government authority to do something. You are a public authority, you are sitting in the office, you are supposed to do something, but you have not done that. In that case, the court can say that it is your responsibility to do this, so you must do this. Karke, the court will issue a writ known as mandamus. The next kind of writ that is issued is that certiorari. Certiorari and prohibition are used together. The meaning of prohibition is that usually the writ of prohibition is used in the cases where a lower court is investigating a matter which is above and beyond its jurisdiction. For example, let us say there is a sessions court in a district and there is also a civil court in a district. Civil court is not supposed to take up cases where the penalty would be death penalty. In that case, let us say civil court has taken up this matter, or for that matter, district court is not supposed to take up any matter where a question of constitutional interpretation is involved. So, if in that case, let us say a district court of, for example, Guntur district court has taken up a matter where there is a question of constitutional interpretation, then High Court can come and say that, hey, you are not supposed to interpret constitutional matters, so you are prohibited from doing this. So the order through which Supreme Court says the district court that you are prohibited from doing the taking up the case, that order is known as prohibition. Whereas once the court has prohibited them from doing, the next question is that now that I have prohibited you, dear, you have to transfer the case to me. For that, the court will order, or court will issue a writ known as certiorari. Certiorari is a writ where the court is asking the lower court to transfer the matter to the higher court. So this is all about the writ jurisdiction, right? So, and this is very important topic for your exams, is the writ jurisdiction. I hope this is clear. Then DPSPs are important for your exam. Please tell me which DPSPs have been added, and which DPSPs have been added through different constitutional amendments. Which constitutional amendments added which DPSPs? Can someone tell me? (44th). Tell me the article numbers as well. 44th, 86th. Yes. So I've given that in the notes. 42nd Amendment Act has added certain articles, 39A, 43A, and 48A. 39A is important. 39A has been asked in examinations multiple times. 39A talks about free legal aid. Now, do you know a body known as NALSA? NALSA, SALSA, DALSA. Do you know about these bodies? Did you ever hear of these bodies? If you have heard of it, what are they? Who heads NALSA, who heads SALSA, and who heads DALSA? See, NALSA, SALSA, and DALSA are the bodies that are supposed to implement Article 39A. Article 39A clearly says that, yes, Legal Services Authority. Article 39A says that it is a responsibility of the state to provide free legal aid to poor people. Right? So, if to implement this Article 39A at national level, a body has been created. The body is known as NALSA, which is National Legal Services Authority. The head of NALSA is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Okay. Whereas the head of the High Court, the Chief Justice of the High Court, is the head of SALSA, that is State Legal Services Authority. The head of the District Court Judge is the head of the District Legal Services Authority. Right? This is about the article number 39A. Now, there are three categories of the fundamental rights altogether. One is Gandhian, the other is liberal the other is liberal ideology, third is sociological or social ideological DPSPs. And DPSPs are not enforceable in the code of law. DPSPs are definitely amendable by the constitution. Right? This is about this thing. The next topic that we have to discuss here is joint sitting. Please tell me, in which circumstances is joint sitting held in a parliament? In Indian Parliament, under what circumstances is the joint sitting held? Now, article number is okay. Under what circumstances? When is... Yes, deadlock is the right word. Australia is also right. This is inspired from Australia. Very good. When does a deadlock happens? Amendments, there is no constitutional joint sitting, Sanju. Sanju, there is no amendment. There is no joint sitting for constitutional amendment bills. Okay. So, for constitutional amendment bills of 368 and 110, you cannot have a joint sitting. No, not state matters. Please tell me, when is a deadlock? Right. See, there are three situations for a deadlock. Let's say the bill has been passed by Lok Sabha and the bill is sent to Rajya Sabha. Now, Lok Sabha passed a bill and it was sent to Rajya Sabha. Situation number one is that Rajya Sabha says, get lost, I don't want to agree with this. Second thing, Rajya Sabha says that whatever you're telling in this bill, I'm not okay with this. I'm making these modifications A, B, and C. The modifications were done and the bill has been sent to Lok Sabha. Now, Lok Sabha says that who are you to bring up these changes? I am not going to agree for your changes. Then also you have a deadlock. The other situation of deadlock is that Lok Sabha has sent a bill. Yes, exactly, Mamsi. The Lok Sabha has sent a bill and Rajya Sabha has not acted on it for 6 months. In all these three cases, there can be a deadlock. Whenever there's a deadlock, at that point of time, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha sits together, right? They sit together and then the bill is set to for discussion and then the bill is passed. This kind of arrangement is called as joint sitting. Now, who presides the joint sitting? Who calls for a joint sitting first? Who calls for a joint sitting? Yes, good, Vamsi. It is presided by the speaker. Who calls for the joint sitting? President of India. If let us say the speaker of Lok Sabha is not available, then who's the next guy to call for a joint sitting? If the speaker of Lok Sabha is not available, who calls for a joint sitting? Sorry, who chairs the joint sitting? Deputy Speaker. Very good. The Deputy Speaker is also not available. Then, even if the Deputy Speaker is not available, then Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Very good. Nice. Next thing is, can someone tell me which is the first bill that was passed in India through the arrangement of joint sitting? Which is the first bill that was passed in India through the arrangement of joint sitting? Can someone tell me? Yes, Dowry Prohibition Act. Very good. So, till in the entire history of India, there are only 3 bills that are passed through joint sitting. This is a potential question. If they're asking questions on joint sitting, there are highly likely chances that this question can be asked. Based on the last year's Tier 2 style of questions, they may even ask you who is the Prime Minister when that bill was passed. The first bill that was passed using joint sitting is Dowry Prohibition Bill in the year 1961 when the Prime Minister is Jawaharlal Nehru. Next is Banking Service Commission Repeal Bill in 1978 by Morarji Desai. Finally, Prevention of Terrorism Bill of 2002 by Vajpayee government. So these are the 3 bills that were passed through joint sitting in India. There are no other bills that were passed. And now, does anyone know about Makoka, MCOCA? I have posted about this in Current Affairs yesterday in Telegram channel a couple of days ago. So anybody knows about Makoka? This is also an act. Can someone tell me about an act? This act of Makoka? It's not in Gujarat there, it's in Madhya Pradesh. The meaning of that is Madhya Pradesh, Control of Organized Crimes Act. That's the act which is there in Madhya Pradesh sorry, it's in Maharashtra. I'm very sorry. Yes, it is there in Maharashtra. It is Maharashtra Control of Organized Crimes Act. This act is heavily in use after the acquittal of the terrorist, the accused terrorist guys of 7/11 attacks of 2006 in Bombay. So I am expecting that there will be a question on this in your Tier 1 or Tier 2. This act belongs to Maharashtra, and under this act, if this act is invoked on you on a particular case, in that case, any evidence or any kind of statement that you are doing before a police officer who has a rank above the superintendent of police అంటే ఎస్పీ పైన ర్యాంక్ లో వాళ్ళ ముందు if you give a statement saying that you have done this particular crime, the statement is admissible as an evidence in the court of law, right? So this is about Maharashtra Control of Organized Crimes Act. I am expecting a question on this as well, maybe in your Tier 1 or in your Tier 2. Now let us start talking about galaxies. What is the nearest galaxy to our universe? What is the nearest galaxy? No, Milky Way is our galaxy. What is the nearest? No, Akash. No, not Akash. Andromeda. Yes, very good. Andromeda. There are the shapes of galaxies are also important. Andromeda is spiral in shape. Milky Way is parrot spiral in shape. These are important. Then you have to see about Alpha Centauri, Proxima Centauri. These two can be your questions, right? Please read these and go. These are very important. Next, with respect to Chandrasekhar limit, this is also important. I mean, I'm sure you can study the facts, but tell me what is the meaning of Chandrasekhar limit? Can someone tell me the meaning of Chandrasekhar limit? నాకు తెలియదు సార్. ఇందులో ఎన్ని ఈరోజు ఎగ్జామ్‌లో వచ్చాయనే దాని గురించి నేను మాట్లాడట్లేదు. right? See, the meaning of the meaning of Chandrasekhar limit is like this. Star basically has lot of stages. Okay, star goes through various stages. Any star starts like a nebula. Nebula is basically a gas. Nebula is a gas cloud, right? So it passes through various stages and finally it comes to the stage of white dwarf. At white dwarf, if it has to remain stable, it should not grow beyond a size. It should not grow beyond a size. So the stage where a star, a white dwarf, collapses into a black hole, that weight is known as Chandrasekhar limit, and it is 1.4 times the mass of sun. This is important. They can ask you about these things in the examination. Chandrasekhar won Nobel Prize in physics for this. Yeah, okay. Just a moment. Okay. I hope this is good. If there is still an issue, please let me know. Okay. So this is about this. Bharat Ratna awards are very important. Bharat Ratna awardees are important. पता नहीं यार, आज आपका थर्ड शिफ्ट पे है तो बढ़िया, लेकिन मुझे तो पता नहीं ये पेपर में आया है कि नहीं. वी आर नॉट सपोज टू टॉक अबाउट विच क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड इन द एग्जामिनेशन, सो लेट्स कीप इट फॉर अ व्हाइल असाइड. Bharat Ratna awardees are important. These topics are definitely important for you. So these are all the Bharat Ratna awardees. CNR Rao, he is a very important person who has done a very good research in chemistry on carbon nanotubes, right? On material science of chemistry. CNR Rao has done very good research. Then Sachin Tendulkar is the first sports person to receive a Bharat Ratna. And these are the other personalities who received. Of these, there is one more important personality known as Bhupen Hazarika. In the name of Bhupen Hazarika, there is a infrastructure, that is bridge, that was constructed. Idi chala salu PYQ lo వచ్చింది. This is asked multiple times. The other name for this bridge is Dhola Sadia Bridge. This is named after Bhupen Hazarika, and this connects Dhola in Assam to Sadia in Arunachal Pradesh. This is also a question, right? So this is the story. And this, if the paper setter is stupid, they will ask you this number. If the guy, this PDF is available in Siddhi app. In Siddhi app, there is a folder called as tests and resources. In tests and resources, this PDF is there. They can ask you the length of the bridge because this is the longest bridge. If the examiner has any sense, he will ask you on which river this is constructed, that is Lohit River. If the guy doesn't have any sense, then they might ask you what is the length of the bridge. It is 9.15 kilometers. So this is about Dhola and Sadia Bridge. Now I want to talk to you about one concept that is important according to me, which I felt is important. The concept is known as demand, aggregate demand, demand and supply, different types of goods. Right. So I want to talk to you about this. Please tell me what is basically the meaning of demand and supply. What is the meaning of demand and supply, and how do they vary? How do they vary? Can anyone tell me in 30-40 seconds the relationship between demand and supply and the relationship between those? Before I get to aggregate demand, I'll take up the concept of aggregate demand in detail and I'll talk about aggregate demand. Right. So first of all, let's look at this for 2 to 3 minutes on whiteboard before we go back to the PDF. Right. So demand and supply are very easy concepts of economics. They are the basic concept. They are very easy concept of yes, yes, I know that, James. Today in third shift, all those questions are the multi-statement questions, and I'm expecting the same will continue in tier one also. So basically, demand and supply, the meaning is that the meaning of demand and supply is basically simple. The want for any commodity is the demand, and the production quantity is supply. Now the point is that let's say though the demand and supply curve are discussed on a price quantity, right? So on a price curve, you decide, let's say this is your price and this is your quantity. Now, if there is more quantity which is being demanded, okay, for example, let us say there are books. Let us assume there are books. Now, if 10 people are demanding for books, 10 people are demanding for books, the cost of books is 150. Now, if let us say there is a demand from 20 guys for books, what will be the cost? 250. 30 people, 400. So as your demand increases, the price also increases, right? That is the first thing. As your demand increases, price increases. Next thing is, let us assume that demand is constant. In the market, people need 50 books, but there are only 20 books. At this point, books will be sold. Okay, some side I'll write in a cleaner manner. Let us say the demand is 50 books. There are 20 books in the market, then the price would be 500. There are 40 books in the market, the price would be 250. There are 50 books in the market, the price will be 100. There are 80 books in the market, the price will be 75. So the price keeps on decreasing as the supply keeps on increasing. Now if I start putting these two in the form of a graph, I will get it like this, right? So this line is known as the demand supply curve. This line is the demand supply curve. This is the demand curve, right? As we saw, as the quantity increases, the quantity of supply increases, price will decrease. As the demand increases, price will increase. The optimum point where these two meet, right? This is the ideal price. Market is supposed to operate at this price. This is the available quantity and this is the price. That is a point where you are expected to, that is a point where market is expected to operate. Now, for example, let us say I'll just take 30 more seconds. I'll not eat up much of your time because we will discuss about these things in detail in economics classes. But for a moment, let us assume this is demand curve and this is supply curve. This is the price point. This is the, let kase be the price ankundam, quantity ankundam, equilibrium price. Now, if government starts involving into this, then the curves will change. For example, let us say there is a product which is to be sold at 100 rupees. Now government comes and forces you to sell this at 50 rupees only. If the government is coming and forcing you to sell at 50 rupees only, then what happens? Yes, if the government says subsidization, then initially what happens? As the price has decreased, the quantity demanded will change. Yes, the shift takes place, right? So this is how the demand and supply curve shifts. Ideally, in a free market economy, this shift should not happen. Market has to operate in a equilibrium price. So as of now, till this point, the point where the supply and demand curves meet is known as price equilibrium. Right? So either demand and supply curve. This is just a basic part of it. I'm not going into detail of this, but this is one theme that is very important. That is very, very important for the exams. Now, with respect to demand and supply, there are certain types of demands. First type of demand is price demand. The meaning of price demand is that it's very, very simple. If the price decreases, demand for a product increases. This is very simple. This is basic. Now, there are certain types of goods that they can ask you in the exam. First type of goods are inferior goods. See, the meaning of inferior goods is that people don't associate lot of value for the good. Okay, let's say you are going by public transport here. Now you are earning 15,000 rupees per month. As long as you are as long as you are earning 15,000 rupees per month, you will be very comfortable with what you are earning, and you don't want to. You don't want to spend it on a Uber or Ola. So you will go by public transport. But if your boss gives you a hike and your salary becomes 50,000 rupees, will you want to go by public transport like let's say bus, or will you book a Uber or an Ola? Obviously, you will book an Uber or Ola, right? So public transport, cheaper oils, all these kind of things are considered as inferior goods. So for inferior goods, your demand will decrease as your income increases. These are conceptual questions. Earlier, they used to ask you examples. Now, in the multiple statement questions, they can ask you this relation also. Next is substitute goods. The meaning of substitute goods is very, very simple. Let's say I'm very hungry and it's already 10:30 and I did not eat anything. It's raining outside, slightly raining outside, and I can't go home from my studio. So I would obviously want to order some food and eat something. Now, let's say I've used Swiggy and I saw that there is a lot of hike going on in Swiggy. Now, what will I do? I will obviously go to, let's say, Zomato. So, if there is higher price in Swiggy, then demand for Zomato will increase. If there is higher price in Zepto, the demand for Blinkit will increase. So, yes, Pepsi, Coke, Ola, Uber. Yeah, absolutely. So, increase in price of one good will increase the demand of the other good. These are called as substitute goods. Third are complementary goods. Complementary goods, the meaning is very simple. Okay, earlier in my let's say forget about earlier things. Today petrol is being sold for around 109 rupees per liter. Tomorrow there is a crisis in the Middle East and Russia also decides to stop no, the entire oil cartel decides not to produce any oil and they want to increase the price of petrol, and the price of petrol goes to, let us say, 200 rupees per liter. What happens to the price or the demand for the cars? Petrol cars ka demand, what happens to the petrol car demand? Obviously the demand will fall down, the demand will reduce, right? So those kind of goods are called as complementary goods. The change in price of one good will reduce the demand for the other good. Car and petrol is the same thing, printer and cartridge is also the same thing, right? So this is one thing. These two goods are also important, Veblen goods and Giffen goods. The best example for Veblen goods are the super branded material or luxury branded material. For example, Gucci, Rolls Royce, Lamborghini, limited edition, five in the world, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbered edition, series edition. So these kind of goods are known as Veblen goods. For Veblen goods, no matter you increase the price, see, no matter you increase the price of a particular good, your demand will keep on increasing. Those kind of goods are called as Veblen goods, right? So the next is Giffen goods. Giffen goods are goods where the demand increases even in the price increases. But the difference between a Veblen good and the Giffen good is that Giffen goods are bad than inferior goods, and there are very rare Giffen goods. In the examinations, they might ask you what are Veblen goods. First thing is what are Veblen goods. Second, what are complementary goods? This can be asked in the exam. Third, they might ask you what are let's say inferior goods. These three are important for exams. Earlier, they used to ask you only examples, but today they might ask you the relationships also. They might ask you the relationships also. I just want to take a moment and I got disturbed by one comment, so I just want to talk about it. I'm so sorry for getting disturbed. Mr. Free Fire lovers, whoever you are, I don't know. The examination of SSC CGL is held in English, so I will definitely talk only in English. If there is anything specific to MTS or Steno, then I will use a bilingual language of English and Telugu together. Exams like SSC CGL, IB, ACIO, all those kind of examinations are held in English. So if there is any specific problem for you, my apologies, but this is gonna be my language. I have had enough of discussions on this, and yeah, ఎక్కడైనా మరీ అవసరం అనుకుంటే నేను తెలుగు మాట్లాడతాను, బట్ ఫర్ CGL examinations, especially CGL related, if I'm talking about something, I will talk in English because the exam is not conducted in Telugu. Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. The problem is that I have this bloody comment box right in front of my eyes and I got disturbed. Now, the important concept that we have to talk here is aggregate demand. Aggregate demand is almost similar to GDP of a country. So, first, for a moment, I will talk about what GDP of a country is. As the word says and as the meaning says, GDP stands for gross domestic product, right? So, the meaning of gross domestic product is that the total amount of goods and services that are produced within a country in a specific period of time. So the word says total, which is net amount of goods and services produced within the boundary of this country. So the origin of production of the good should be there within this country, then that is called as GDP. There is one more word which is known as GNP. The difference between GDP and GNP is very simple. Yes, exactly. Whatever Rajkumar said is 100% right. With respect to GDP, it will not matter who is producing it. If it is produced within the boundaries, the physical territorial boundaries of this country, is counted in GDP. Whereas in GNP, if the product is produced by nationals of this country, let it be produced in India, let it be produced outside, but the entire production of the nationals of this country is counted as GNP. Now, if a country is very good at manufacturing, for example, let us say you have a country called as China. China is a country with very high GDP because there is a lot of production that is happening in China. If a country has very good production assembly line, if a country has very strong, robust logistical network, in such cases, those countries have GDP. Whereas if a country has very good diaspora, let us say, for example, for a moment, let us say Indians are spread across the world, and Indians are leading the manufacturing and assembly lines in various countries such as African countries or Middle East countries, etc. In that case, GNP would be higher. So if a country's GDP is higher, it indicates that the production and of the services and goods that is happening in a particular country is very good. Whereas if the GNP of a country is higher, it shows that the nationals of the country are prospering. This is the basic difference between GDP and GNP. Yes, the theories are very important, Chanakya. The theories are extremely important. Now, with respect to aggregate demand is more or less same as GDP. The meaning of aggregate demand is that within a particular economy, at a specific price level, at a particular price level, there the entire consumption of a country, investment, government spending, like the entire demand that is there within a particular country, that is called as aggregate demand. So aggregate demand is decided by the number of people that are there in the country and the demand that is there for a particular product, right? So this is the aggregate demand. Yes, the concept of the demand was introduced by Keynes, and this is the whole concept of aggregate demand which they can ask you in the exams. Next thing that I want to talk here is about the planets. Planets part is very important. Just a moment. If he's not, that is not hopeful on time, because sir, if somebody is saying that exam might be postponed, my sincere request is please don't give a damn. Unless there is a notice, official notice, please don't give a damn about it. అస్సలు పట్టించుకోకండి. ద రీజన్ ఈజ్ సింపుల్. ఎగ్జామ్ నిజంగా జరిగిందనుకోండి, ఎవరైతే పట్టించుకుంటారో వాళ్ళు నష్టపోతారు. అఫీషియల్ నోటీస్ వస్తే ప్రతి ఎక్స్ట్రా రోజు దట్ ఈస్ అన్ యాడెడ్ అడ్వాంటేజ్. అండ్ డియర్ సంజు, CGL is also held in Hindi. Okay, let's get back. Now, with respect to solar system, there are certain facts that are important that they can ask you in the exams. And in the notes, I have integrated certain current affairs also. For example, what is NASA's thing? What does ISRO do? Right? NASA's Parker Solar Probe is with respect to Sun. ISRO's Aditya L1 mission. Please go through these notes. I am not getting into detail because it's not a conceptual thing. I have listed it here. All these facts are important. Solar system is one focus area. There are multiple sessions of examinations where there are multiple questions on solar system, right? So this is about solar system. All the missions that are there with respect to each of the planets I have integrated here. Please go through this part, right? And then there is one thing that I want to talk to you about is coronal mass ejection. There is a phenomenon known as coronal mass ejections, which I just want to show in a image just for a moment. Right? These are called as coronal mass ejection. These kind of ejections are known as coronal mass ejection. It's very simple. The plasma membrane of the sun ejects material outside. Those kind of material are known as coronal mass ejection. So you have plasma and the magnetic field of the sun that are coming out of it, which are coronal mass ejections. The magnetic field of the sun interacts with the magnetic field of the earth. The interaction happens, right? This leads to a colorful phenomena. There are two such phenomena in India. One is in North Pole, that is Aurora Borealis. The other is in South Pole, which is Australis. In Southern Hemisphere, you have Australia, so it is called as Aurora Australis. In Northern Hemisphere, it is called as Aurora Borealis. Next, there is one important concept that you need to know, which is known as liquidity trap. Can somebody tell me what is a liquidity trap before I discuss with you what a liquidity trap is? Can someone tell me what a liquidity trap is? I'll explain, no worries. We'll have a hypothetical situation and I'll explain what when no, it's not no one wants to spend money, no one wants to invest money. Okay, I'll tell you about a situation. The same thing happened in India as well. A liquidity trap happened in India a couple of times. Okay, let us take the example of let's say people don't invest in anything nor save the amount in banks. Very good. Yes. Liquidity trap. Liquidity trap, as the word itself says. Before going to that, let me tell you the meaning of the word liquidity for those who don't know. Liquidity is nothing but ability to convert an asset into money. Liquidity is the ability to convert an asset into money or a cash very quickly. I will give you a small list of 3 to 4 things. Please tell me which is easy to convert. For example, gold. Okay, then you have a house. Then you have a iPhone 17 Pro. Which of these three is the most liquid? I know that 17 is not out. Let's say 16. Which of the three is most liquid one? Which is most liquid? Gold. Yes. So ability to convert any asset into cash is called as liquidity. So liquidity is associated with cash. Now the meaning of liquidity trap is the same as cash trap. People wants to hold the cash. They don't want to invest anywhere. Reason why this happens is that, let us say a country's economy is very bad. Okay, ideally country's economy goes something like this. It keeps going up and down and up and down. Now for example, we had a COVID crisis. After COVID crisis, after COVID was there, in India also people were not ready to spend. Everybody was afraid that what happens if there is a medical emergency in my house. I need money. The people started getting money and they started storing money. They were not spending it at all. That is a scenario where people don't want to spend. If people don't want to spend, then do you think investor want to invest money anywhere? No, right? So when people are not willing to spend money, investors are not ready to invest anywhere. And even if banks are giving loans, people are not willing to take money. I mean, how many of you are aware of the 2008 subprime crisis in United States of America? How many of you are aware of the subprime crisis of USA? In 2008, US went through a very, very bad phase. Gold is easy because Satya, it's simple. You just go to any gold shop and give them gold, they'll give you cash. In 2008, United States went through a major crisis which is known as subprime crisis. In short, the situation was that the entire economy went bad. People were not willing to buy anything. Investors were not willing to spend anything. In such a situation, what happens is that the central banks of the country, any bank for that matter, or US Fed Reserve, these will maintain negative repo rates or near zero repo rates, which means that we will give you money, don't give us any interest, just take money and you spend it, you invest it. That kind of situation or that kind of scenario is known as liquidity trap. Now I have a small couple of questions for you to check how you have understood it or not. First thing is, let us say there is a liquidity trap in the country. Liquidity trap is there. A country is going through this situation. Now RBI has a choice. What kind of monetary policy will it follow? Will it follow a easy monetary policy or a tight monetary policy? Which policy will it follow? Will it go by a easy policy or a tight policy? Absolutely. RBI will go by easy monetary policy, right? Yes, it is also known as expansionary monetary policy or easy monetary policy. Right. I'm happy that you have understood what it is. And this concept of liquidity trap is also introduced by John Maynard Keynes. In case they ask you about what is this, in India there was one scenario where we had a liquidity trap during COVID period. Then RBI came up with a plan called as Operation Twist, where RBI was trying to infuse money a lot in India. Right, it was not successful. I mean, it took a lot of time. Over a period of time, India went through a K-shaped recovery. There was a downfall and there was a recovery, and we will talk about it later at some other point of time. So this is about the liquidity trap. Now these are some important people, and in my point of view, Medha Patkar is very important. Medha Patkar is associated with Narmada Bachao Andolan. Then along with that, there are some other people who are very famous. Okay, I'll talk about NFTs. Just give me a moment. I'll talk about what is NFT. Sundarlal Bahuguna, Baba Amte, all these guys are important. Please go through these notes, right? These are all very factual portions. You can go through this. There is one person, Mountain Man Manji. These are Raman Megasese awardees. Megasese awardees kuda exam lo important. Then this is a list of books and authors. Please go through this list of books and authors. These are important. Arvind Adiga is important. Salman Rushdie is important. Jhumpa Lahiri, Vikram Seth, Arundhati Roy. These are very, very important personalities. Ruskin Bond is also important. All right. Arundhati Roy, Ruskin Bond, these are important. And then these are some guys who got Booker Prize for their works. I'm not wasting time on this. I want you to read it. And I'll be brutally honest. I don't remember these. Okay, I have given here in the notes. I have searched the internet, and whatever important are there, whatever are asked in multiple examinations, I have given in the form of a notes. But I'll be brutally honest. I don't remember these things. It's been a long time and I stopped remembering them. Next, these are important. These lists are important. Land of White Elephant is extremely important. Land of White Elephant is Thailand. And based on Land of White Elephants, if Land of White Elephants Thailand is important, then these are also important. Sugar Bowl of Cuba is important. These are some other nicknames for the countries. Please go through these things. Now there is one question on what are NFTs. I'll explain what NFTs are. I'll just take 1 second and I'll explain. It's a very easy concept. NFT is a very easy concept. The full form of book launch. No, don't go for years. Years guttupettukokandi. No years. See, I'll tell you. Kiran K. I'll ask you one question. Your question is a judicial review ke enforceability untada. I mean, DPSPs ki judicial review untunda undada. That is your question, right? My question for you is, are DPSPs enforceable? Are DPSPs mandatory? Okay, I'll check this answer later. Meanwhile, I'll talk about what are NFTs. Yes, they are non-enforceable. So when they are not enforceable, there is no need for judicial review at all. Judicial review is there for fundamental rights only because they are enforceable. If something is non-enforceable, then definitely there is no need for judicial review at all. Yes, you will have live daily, and this PDF is there in Siddhi app. Please go to Siddhi app's tests and resources. In tests and resources, there is a folder whose name I'm not interested to say on camera, but it is something related to papers, etc. Please go through, you'll understand what I'm talking. Now, there was one question on what are NFTs, which is a very good question. NFTs, the full form is non-fungible tokens, right? Non-fungible tokens. I'll tell you with a very good example. Before that, I want to tell you the meaning of the word fungibility. Can someone tell me what is the meaning of fungibility? Please tell me the meaning of fungibility. Then I'll tell you NFT. Just the English meaning. Please tell me the English meaning of the word NFT. Yes, fungibility is if you are able to divide a piece into multiple pieces. This is called as fungibility. Now, there is one bar of gold, one gold bar, let's say of 10 grams. I broke this one bar of gold into 10 pieces of 1 gram each. Okay. 10 grams ka hai. I mean, there was 10 gram gold bar. I broke this into 1 gram each. Now, please tell me, will the value of this 1 gram change? Will the value of this 1 gram change? No? Very good answer. Now I have one more thing. I have a painting of Mona Lisa. This painting is worth, let us say, $1,000. 1,000 US dollars. Now I broke this painting into 4 parts. Can I say the value of this part is same as 250 USD? Can I say that the value of this small piece is 250 USD? Can I say this? No. Yes, so you cannot break this. You cannot split it. Those kind of things are called as non-fungible tokens. Token is a similarity. Mona Lisa painting is worth 1,000 US dollars of currency. This cannot be broken into pieces. Such kind of token currencies, digital media, copyright works, literature, books, paintings, all these things are called as non-fungible tokens. So this is the meaning of non-fungible tokens. Next thing in the exams point of view, schedules are very, very important. Please go through the schedules. I have given a list of schedules here. All these schedules are important. Please go through these schedules and revise the schedules. Next thing is, there are three things that are important. 10th schedule is related to anti-defection law. Yes, crypto is an NFT. There are certain cryptos which are NFT. Yes, Moto. There are certain schedules which are important, of which one schedule is 10th schedule. 10th schedule is inserted by 52nd constitutional amendment, right? So 10th schedule is introduced by 52nd constitutional amendment. Please go through the meaning of defection. And my question for you is, who decides the cases of defection? Who decides the cases of defection? Please tell me, who decides the cases of defection? Yes, very good. The next question is, what is ninth schedule? Very good, speaker is right. What is ninth schedule? Yeah, but the PDF will be given daily. PDF is present in Siddhi app. Please download the app, and in tests and resources, all PDFs are available. You can utilize them. Okay. No. You are not going with the right answer. No. Okay, I'll explain the context of ninth schedule. It's interesting. You are partially correct. Whoever is saying land reforms is partially correct. You yeah, I'll talk about ninth schedule. So are you aware that ninth schedule is not there in the original constitution? Are you all aware that ninth schedule is not there in the original constitution? Whoever is saying zamindari, you're partially correct. Okay, I'll give you the whole context and story of the ninth schedule. Please give me a couple of minutes. See, ninth schedule was not there in the original Indian constitution. There are only 8 schedules, right? In the first constitutional amendment, ninth schedule was introduced. First, let us look at the reasons behind why ninth schedule was introduced as a part of our constitution. The reason was that, yes, it was to abolish the zamindari system. It was to curtail the land rights. It was to curtail the right to property, and it was to take land from the landlords and zamindari people, and it was to distribute to various sections of people. Ninth schedule was created. The whole purpose of the ninth schedule is that it was to create a safe place. Ninth schedule is like a let's say wardrobe or an almirah. Ninth schedule is like an almirah. You place any law in the ninth schedule, no matter what the content of the law is, no matter what is there in the law, courts cannot question whether this is acceptable or not. That was the purpose of ninth schedule. As said by Vamsi, absolutely, ninth schedule has been created to create a safe space such that any law that is placed in the ninth schedule will not be subjected to judicial review. Yes, hitherto Peace and Vamsi are absolutely right. So that is the purpose of ninth schedule. Now, how many of you are aware of this case known as Keshwanand Bharti case, or KB case of 24th April 1971? How many of you are aware of this? How many of you are aware of this? Right after the Keshwanand Bharti case, the Supreme Court came up and Supreme Court came up and said that now onwards, no, it's not 1973, it is 1971. 24th April 1971, Keshwanand Bharti case, Supreme Court clearly said that here onwards, there is something called as basic structure, and you cannot violate the basic structure. Now, there was a question before the court. What Parliament continued to do is that they started misusing the ninth schedule. On 24th April 1971, Supreme Court said that we are introducing the concept of basic structure doctrine, and any law that is in violation of the basic structure doctrine is subjected to cancellation. And Supreme Court has every damn right to check and question any particular law. So this was the judgment in the Keshwanand Bharti case. So after Keshwanand Bharti case, Parliament started misusing ninth schedule. And apart from the laws that are related to land, they started introducing every damn law. Okay, just a second here. I want to confirm this. Maybe I might be wrong. Just a second. Let me check the date. Yeah, 1973. I'm extremely sorry. 24th April 1973. Yes. Keshwanand Bharti case is 24th April 1973. Thank you so much for correcting me. Let me come back. So after Keshwanand Bharti case of 1973, what Parliament started doing is that whichever act that it felt is important, whichever act it felt that it is more important that it should not be cancelled by the Supreme Court, they started placing them in ninth schedule. And at a point of time, there are almost more than 500 plus laws that were inserted in ninth schedule. There were laws related to liquor prohibition. There were laws related to appointments to the government. States started introducing laws in ninth schedule. Everybody started misusing ninth schedule left and right. So in 2007, Supreme Court said that there was a question before the Supreme Court as to, is the real purpose of basic structure doctrine being fulfilled? Isn't the ninth schedule being misused? Is it the right manner to do? This was a question before the Supreme Court. Now in 2007, in a famous judgment of I.R. Coelho, Supreme Court said that enough is enough. Happened has happened. Here onwards, it should not happen like this. Whatever laws that are placed in ninth schedule before 24th April 1973, with respect to those laws, we cannot do anything. It's okay. You have placed it. There was no basic structure doctrine. You were not there. I was not there. So it's okay. But after 24th April 1973, because that was on the date where we said that there is a basic structure doctrine, whatever laws you placed in ninth schedule after 24th April of 1973, we are throwing open all those laws for judicial review. This was the judgment that was given by Supreme Court in I.R. Coelho case. So this is a whole story of ninth schedule. Ninth schedule is not there in the original constitution. It was introduced to protect laws from judicial review. It was introduced through First Amendment of 1950. Hello, am I audible now? Yeah, it should be audible now. Please check. Hello, it should be audible now. Yeah, mic testing 1 2 3. నా లాగ్ అయిపోయి నాకు ఇప్పుడు మీకు వినిపించాలి. Yes, there was a small glitch, but yes. So this is a story of our Coelho case. Next important thing that is a focus area in your exams is there are various amendments through which states were made a part of Indian Union. Everyone knows that there were so many princely states. One by one, states were made a part of India. Okay, I will. All the states were made a part of India. So these amendments, years, and this can be a match the following question in your upcoming exams. They can simply give you four: 7th Amendment, which states; 10th Amendment, which states; 12th, which states; 13th, which states; 14th. They can simply give you a match the following question, and they can ask you about this. This is important. No, First Amendment did not impact any states, Sanju. This is about the states. This amendment, this table is only about the states that were impacted as a part of amendments. First Amendment I spoke about is with respect to the ninth schedule. So these are the amendments which impacted the states. This is important. They might ask you a match the following question on this. Now there is one more thing that we have to talk. Please tell me, what is 7th schedule? There are a couple of other topics that I want to talk before I close today. What is 7th schedule? What is 7th schedule? Okay. Yes. No, not land reforms, Ganesh. 7th schedule divides the legislative and executive powers. In any constitution, if it is a federal government. No, 7th schedule is not about property. Okay, before I go there, please tell me, what is the difference between unitary government and a federal government? What is the difference between a unitary structure and a federal structure? What is the difference between a unitary structure and a federal structure? Yes, Moto, you're right. Unitary structure is where central government is everything. Central government, if the central government has all the powers, such is called as unitary. Federal government is where states have autonomous powers. India is a quasi federal structure which is slightly lenient towards unitary. So, on a scale, if I say that this is unitary, this is a federal, right? You have China here, you have Russia here, whereas you have USA here. India lies somewhere over here. India is a quasi federal structure which is more tilted towards unitary. It has unitary bias. It has unitary bias. Now, in any written constitution with federal features, any constitution, Malli audio poinda. Hello? Yeah, there is audio here. See, in any constitution with federal structures, it is mandatory that the powers are written clearly. There has to be a clear jurisdiction. There should be a list. List must say that A, B, C, D are a part of union government. D, E, F are for state government. G, H, I, J, K are for both state and central government. Right? This establishment is written in Indian Constitution as a part of 7th schedule in the form of list. As a part of list, right? So we have three different lists. We have state list, we have union list, and we also have concurrent list. We have all these three kinds of list: union list, state list, and concurrent list. Now, there are certain rules and regulations as to who can make a law on which subject. With respect to union list, obviously, always Government of India can make a law. With respect to state list, in 90% of the cases, state government can make a law, and there are 10% of situations where Government of India can make a law. Government of India can also make a law in certain specific cases. There are specifically certain cases. Case number 1, where Rajya Sabha is saying that this is a matter of national interest, so please make a law. If Rajya Sabha is passing a resolution by 2/3 majority, then Parliament can make a law on any matter with respect to state law. This can be asked in the examinations, and any laws made in such manner is valid only for 1 year. Now, can anybody tell me why only Rajya Sabha should make this request? Why cannot Lok Sabha make this request? Can someone tell me why under Article 249 only Rajya Sabha can make a request, or why not Lok Sabha can do this? Hemant sir, somebody is constantly sending sad emojis. What happened? Yes, Rajya Sabha is the Council of States. Right? In Parliament, you have Lok Sabha, you also have Rajya Sabha. People elect directly to the members of Lok Sabha, whereas in Rajya Sabha, people are elected by state assemblies. Each state assembly will conduct elections and send people to Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha is seen as, yes, Rajya Sabha is seen as representative of states. Now the question that we are discussing is, with respect to the matters on state list, when can Parliament make laws? Parliament can make laws with respect to matters of state list in 3 different cases. Case number 1, when Rajya Sabha passes a request with a 2/3 majority. That is the first scenario. In this scenario, the law is valid for 1 year. Right? In the second scenario, in case of national emergency, then Parliament can make a law for the matters on state list. And this is valid only as long as the emergency is in place. The other scenario, there is one more scenario. That is, let us say, for example, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana have a problem with respect to Krishna River, or they have a problem with respect to Polavaram project. Now, or let us say the states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka have a problem with respect to Kaveri River. Now, these two states can pass a resolution and they can ask the Parliament saying that, see, we have a problem on this matter. We are not able to come to a common ground. So you please make a law and we will follow it. So when more than two states, or two states, that is two or more states, make a request to make a request to the parliament asking that please make a law on this specific matter, then parliament can make a law. And in such cases, that law is valid only for those states. If any other state wants to join this law, then they have to pass a resolution saying that "Bhai, we want to be a part of this," and then definitely the other states can also join. So these are the three scenarios: article number 249, 250, and 252 and 253. These are the cases. Under 253, if there are any international agreements that state that the government of India wants to implement, even in those cases, laws can be made by parliament on the matters of state list. So this is important. Next thing is that there is one more thing. We also have another list called as concurrent list. Now in the examination, they might ask you, what if there is a law of a state? What if there is a law of a state, right? And there is a law of the parliament also on this matter of concurrent list, then what happens? I didn't understand your question, Moto. What happens when there is a law, on concurrent list where both state and center are making a laws? When there is a matter with respect to concurrent list, if state is doing this, yes, parliament supersedes these states. Now my question is, are there any specific scenarios where the matter belongs to the concurrent list, but the law made by the state is said to be okay, whereas the law made by the center is wrong? What are there any scenarios like this? Are there any scenarios like this? This can be a question. This can be a question. Are there any scenarios like this? Right. No, not marriage. I'll tell you. See, what? Let us say a state is passing a law. There are two options. After the state has passed a law, the bill can be signed by governor. The bill can be signed by a governor. Yes. Right? The bill can be signed and assent can be given by governor. This becomes a law. The assent can be given by president, and this also becomes a law. Both cases are possible. Now, please listen to this very carefully. If a state passes a law and the assent is given by the president, in these cases, if the subject belongs to the concurrent list, state law supersedes parliament law. This can be your statement based question that they may ask you in the examination. Absolutely right, Sindhu. You are absolutely perfect. Right? Next, classical dances are important. Classical dances, so part 2, the personalities are important. Under Sangeet Natak Academy, there are 8 classical dances. Under Ministry of Culture, there are 9 classical dances. With respect to Bharatanatyam, one important personality is Mrinalini Sarabhai along with Rukmini Devi Arundel. Kathak, Birju Maharaj, Lachan Maharaj are important. Kathakali is from Kerala. Mohiniyattam, Sunanda Nair and Bharati Shivaji are important. Kuchipudi, Yamini Krishnamurti is important. Right? And then Perani is one dance that belongs to the state of Telangana. Right? This table is important. Please go through this table. Yes, 9th is Chow, that is extra, which is not recognized by Sangeet Natak Academy, but this is recognized by Ministry of Culture. This is important. This, right? And there are some persons and positions. This table, please go through with this. And there was one question that could be asked again on happiness index. India's rank is 118 in 2025. Highest is Finland for the past 8 years. This is not published by United Nations Organization. This is not published by United Nations Organization. This is not published by World Bank. This is not published by IMF. They can set a trap point there. This is published by the University of Oxford along with UNSDR network. So this is a private report. Finland is the happiest country. India's ranking is 118 in 2025. Next important topic that I want to discuss with you, the last topic for today, is about Indian philosophy. When I was dealing about Indian philosophy in the ancient history lecture, I told that let us not dwell into much detail of ancient the schools of philosophy, and we will stick to the names. So names are important, but today I will slightly talk about philosophy. I will do a specific class on Indian philosophical schools separately. Yes, I told about this in ancient history lectures, but I did not dwell into each philosophy in detail. I will do a separate class on this, an exclusive class on Indian philosophy. But today, again, Mimamsa is very important. Mimamsa founder is Jamini. There are two types of Mimamsa. One is Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Mimamsa is the Indian philosophy that is for interpretation of Vedas. Everybody knows that there are four Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. Can someone tell me which of these Vedas is for rituals? Which Veda is for rituals? Which Veda is for rituals and practices? Which Veda is for hymns? Which Veda is for rituals? Which is for music? Which is for magical practices? Rig Veda is for hymns. Yajur Veda is for rituals. Sam Veda is music. Atharva Veda is magical practices. Now, the rituals of Yajur Veda are interpreted as a part of Mimamsa. So, Mimamsa, Jamini, this is important. Next the other schools are Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, and Vedanta. See, to be very specific, Indian philosophy is beautiful philosophy. Indian philosophy is so beautiful that it accommodates the concept of God, and it also gives enough space for people who reject God. If I'm very proud to say that I belong to a country where the philosophy is so accommodative, so beautiful, that in this country, the religious system that was originated in this country gives enough space for both the classes of people who say that God exists. Atman and Brahman are separate, and for those sections of people who say that Atman and Brahman are together and Aham Brahmasmi, both concepts exist in this country. One school is called as Orthodox school, where they say that Atman and Brahman are different. Atman is the human soul, Brahman is the superior entity. Brahman is not the Brahmin. Both words are different. Please understand. Brahman is not same as Brahmin. Right? Brahman is a caste, forget about it. Atman and Brahman are two different concepts. Atman is the physical material of the body, Brahman is the soul. The orthodox Indian schools say that Atman and Brahman are separate. Atman, or our soul, wants to, or our physical body wants to integrate with our soul. This is the orthodox school. Whereas there is one heterodox or Nastika school which says that there is no concept of Atman and Brahman. In the orthodox schools, there are 6 different schools of Indian philosophy. The first school is Nyaya. Nyaya school is founded by Gautama, and Nyaya school talks about logic. It talks about the valid sources of knowledge, and it says that the right kind of knowledge obtained from the right source is important. Adi Nyaya. Next school is Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika school talks about the origin of universe, origin of human material, right? Where we have origin. I don't want to comment. So Vaisheshika school talks about the 7 atomic materials from which we have come. Third school is Sankhya school. Sankhya school says that dualism is true. Indian philosophy is there is a beauty of Indian philosophy. I'll definitely take a separate class on YouTube itself for Indian philosophy. The beauty of Sankhya school is that Sankhya school says that dualism is true. Dualism meaning is that there is one thing which is called as consciousness. There is something else which is known as matter. Matter is different, consciousness is different. Ante physical form veru, mind is different, physical form is different. This is the dualistic school. That is Sankhya. Yoga of Patanjali. Right? Yoga of Patanjali, everybody knows yoga is seen as one practical way. Next, Mimamsa, finally Vedanta of Badarayana, right? Vedanta talks about interpretation of Upanishads. So these are the 6 classical schools, and there are sub schools of Vedanta, and I am expecting questions on this. I am expecting a match the following questions on this. in one of the exams of 2025. Advaita, Visistadvaita, Dvaita school, Dvaiva Advaita, Shuddha Advaita, these are beauty. Advaita, see, Dva, please understand, Dva talks about two. The concept of dualism or two says that Atman is different, Brahman is different. Nenu veru, God veru. I am different, God is different. That is the school of Advaita. Right? And it says that Brahman or God is reality. Adi matrame reality. People veru, manam, we have to go towards the we have to travel towards moksha is what Advaita school says. Right? That is Advaita school. Where, just a second, can we expect these type of, yes, you can expect, you can definitely expect. So first school is Advaita, where there is no dualism, only one is there. Next is Visistadvaita Ramanujacharya. No matter what you know or you don't know, please learn this table at least. Okay, it is beautiful if you can know about the philosophy, but please learn this table. Advaita, Visistadvaita, Dvaita. Advaita is Shankaracharya, Visistadvaita is Ramanujacharya, Dvaita is Madhvacharya, Dvaita Advaita is Nimbarka, Vallabhacharya Shuddhadvaita, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right, these are important, and among these as well, Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya are extremely important. ఇంతవరకు కంపల్సరిగా చదివి వెళ్ళాలి. Then there is Charvaka philosophy of Brihaspati. This was a previous question of CDS and different UPSC exams. So this is important, and everybody knows about Buddhism and Jainism. So this is all for today. Now I have one question on which I want to take an opinion. We have please listen to me for the next 2 minutes. At okay, edicts of, I'll take it up in tomorrow's session. I will definitely take up in tomorrow's session. In brief, there are various types of edicts. There are minor rock edicts, there are major rock edicts, there are pillar edicts. Each edict gives a particular message. The number of the edict and the message are important. There is one question where they will ask you in which edict the message of Devanam Piyadasi is important, or is mentioned. That is one edict that is important. And edicts, from edicts you can expect match the following type of questions. Now for the next 2 minutes, please don't spam the chat box. I want to talk to you about something on Siddhi platform. See, we have been deliberating and discussing this topic for the past 15 to 20 days or maybe more. The topic is about medium of instruction and medium of discussion. There were a lot of deliberations that were there. I agree that I am from Telugu state and I have utmost respect towards Telugu and I love my language. But I have one specific problem. The problem is that my entire education has been in Telugu and I never wrote a damn thing in Telugu. Not even competitive exams. I am from a background where I did not study Telugu as my primary language because of multiple reasons. So if I start switching into Telugu, I find problem in maintaining the flow. That is a very, very big problem. I think those guys who know me very well by now, they know that this is a real problem that I have. So in Siddhi, we have decided to take up the content in 3 different formats. Format number 1, where we are talking about different kinds of strategies for the examinations, and where I want to connect with you and I want to convey certain things in a specific manner, saying that see, this is positive, this is negative, please don't do this, do this. This part we want to keep it bilingual. I want to talk in both the languages, because obviously it is my mother tongue and I can effectively communicate, but I will ensure that 70% of it is still in English. And with respect to exams or such as CGL, right, and above, that is CDS, CAPF, or any other exam such as, let's say, EPF or ASIO, these kind of examinations, we will keep the medium of instruction in English. If there is anything specifically, I'm talking about MTS and CHSL kind of examinations, specifically MTS exam, if there is anything, I will try my best to communicate in Telugu. So this is the conclusion. Now, all those who are from Telugu states and who know me earlier, నేను మీకు తెలిసి ఫస్ట్ నుంచి నన్ను ఫాలో అవుతూ చూస్తున్న వాళ్ళు, my request or my question to you is, today's class I deliberately took it up completely in English just to ask you that please tell me your comment on this style. Are you comfortable in following this, or do you suggest any kind of changes for this? I'll answer your question, Janaki. I'll tell about it. Please tell me, is there any problem with respect to this style? Did you understand properly, or do you have any suggestions for this style of teaching? If you are all comfortable, I'm extremely happy. Thank you so much, here. Thank you so much. Even I am comfortable in this language. Yeah, I will try to switch once in a while, but thank you so much for this. No, I wanted to ask this question. I really wanted to ask this question. There are certain reasons behind it. One is that I can maintain a flow. The second reason is that subconsciously I want to push you guys to getting used to listening to things in English. I really want to push you guys for it, because please understand, please understand, the English that you have in different examinations is applied English. It is not an English which is a rotten style of English. So you also have to get used to listening things. And thanks to my grandparents and the strong educational background that they gave me, I'm very comfortable talking in this manner. Here, I really don't know about the CPO notification. If there is speed, I'll slow down. If there is a speed, I will slow down. And there is one question of, I think it was Chanakya who asked about the schools. The school means, in the entire topic of social studies, school is basically a group of people who subscribe to a particular philosophy. Okay, for example, if I say that I belong to, yes. If I belong to Advaita school, the meaning is that I subscribe to the Advaita school and I agree with the ideals of Advaita school. So that is the meaning of the school. School is basically a group of people who agree with a particular style of, who agree with a particular ideology. That is called as Advaita. That is called as a school. And thank you so much for all the support that you gave for this switch into English. So here onwards, it is official. We will convey the content in English, but if there is anything that I really want to talk my heart out, I will talk in Telugu as well. I am not able to take up classes of mathematics, but for those who are asking about maths, based on the review that is there from different students in today's examination, the focus areas are advanced mathematics. The focus, the notes PDF. Vamsi, the problem of giving it by 6 p.m. is that I have to prepare. I have to prepare this. Yes, we will have a class every day as long as there are examinations, because there is a ban on the questions. I cannot show you the questions, but I am free to pick up the important topics and talk. So as long as I can pick up important topics, I will take up these classes. There, once you go to the app and you go to tests and resources, you will find this. You will find this in tests and resources. The notes is provided, Divya. The notes is there in tests and resources. You go to tests and resources, you can understand by yourself. This is not the time to comment on the safe score for CGL 2025. This is definitely not the time, right? Give your best. And I am very sorry here, I can't handle maths and English. It is becoming very hectic and difficult. I am writing notes as well. Once the tests are completed and once some papers are out, I want to take up a proper GS course. I will take up a GS course and I will cover things in detail, right? So, and there are some of my students who are there in this class in economy. Okay, we will do one economy special class. Hi, Akshay. I'm waiting for Akshay to come to office. I mean, yeah. So this is all for tonight. Please don't look into. The problem is here. This is the camera and this is the comment section. That's the problem. This is camera right in front of me and this is the comment section. So if I look at the camera, automatically my vision goes here. I'm still getting used to it. And trust me, if I look at the comment section, my flow gets disturbed. So that's the problem. I will definitely learn about it. So one shot, no, ma'am. We will see. We will see if there are any one shot videos. These are the kind of one shot videos, right? Uh, so this is all for today. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for staying. And thank you so much for being so supportive for the switch of the language. And see you all again in tomorrow's session at 9:30 p.m., where I'll pick up important topics. I will handle the subject wise classes, but yes, Krish, we will do this every day as long as I can pick up the important questions. I hope you can understand, right? Siddhito Sadidam, yes. The CGL means ki help cheyandi either paid. Yeah, I will definitely take a paid full course of GS. Don't worry. On YouTube, we will do these things. The question papers, this keeps on continuing, and in the app, we will do a paid course. I'll definitely help you out. Don't worry. Both will continue. On the YouTube platform, the questions format will continue, and in the application, the proper courses will continue. And as long as I can pick up the important topics, I will continue this. Let it be whatever exam it is. No, ma'am, I don't want to touch maths at this moment. I love mathematics. I really love mathematics, but I cannot touch maths at this moment because I can't manage time. I really cannot manage time. Let's see if someday I can give a theory notes or something, but I can't manage time at this moment. Right? So this is all for tonight. Have a great night. Good night. See you all again tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. on this very channel, where we will again pick up the important topics. Let's see. I have to finish GS and English first. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, that is the whole point, Vamsi. Subject is English, the heart out talk is in Telugu. ఎంత కాదన్నా మన భాషలో మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటే ఉండే కనెక్ట్ వేరు. సో మాట్లాడుకునేదంతా మనం ఇలానే మాట్లాడుకుందాం. బట్ ఇన్ సబ్జెక్ట్ ఐ హావ్ అ ఫ్లో దట్ విల్ బి ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్. రైట్. గుడ్ నైట్. Bye bye. Good night.